Glasshouse, a community service announcement.
This is Kim Beazley. He no longer appeals to the ALP, and more importantly, he no longer appeals to you, the voting public. What Kim urgently needs is more appeal, which is why we're appealing to you to support the Kim Beazley Appeal. For as little as $10,000, we can buy Kim some new policies, a decent speechwriter, maybe even put out a contract on Kevin Rudd. Please give generously and make Kim Beazley appeal more to you.
G'day folks, welcome to the Glasshouse, the program that asks the question, if they really wanted to keep the monarchists and the Republicans happy at the closing ceremony, why didn't they just shoot the Queen out of a cannon? More news than the joy of Tony Blair this week. In the US, the Pentagon is funding research into brain implants that will turn sharks into stealth spies, capable of gliding undetected through the ocean. Great in Hawaii, not much help in Baghdad. They're really pouring resources into this war on terror. If the insurgents manage to build a submarine out of meat, we're ready for them. At the last minute, the Howard government has added a few tasty details to its new IR laws. Workplace Relations Minister Kevin Andrews now has the power to intervene in disputes and quash anything he disapproves of. He also has the power to remove the tongues of anyone who displeases him. The new laws came into effect at a glittering ceremony in Parliament House on Monday, when Frodo Howard gave Andrews the one ring to rule them all. And they spell out for the first time what unions can legally include in wage agreements. Nothing. In Britain, kindergarten children are being taught to sing Bar Bar Rainbow Sheep instead of the traditional rhyme after teachers were told to promote equal opportunities. Equal opportunities? The black sheep just lost its job. And it still discriminates against animals that don't go bar, bar. How about bleat, bleat, creature of non-specific colour and species? Have you any homespun fabric? Yes, sir or madam. Yes, sir or madam. Enough to share, but not in a communist way. One is for the titled person of non-specific gender, one is for the other titled person of non-specific gender, and one is for the child of non-specific age, height and gender who coexist in harmony with the lane. But not in a gay way. Congrats!
News from the world of meat, Worcestershire. The head of archaeology and anthropology at Bristol University claims cooking on the barbecue is a primal instinct men inherited from their ancient ancestors. I always thought the wheel was the invention that civilised man. Turns out it was the Weber. It also turns out all those cave drawings of men spearing mammoths were just primitive shish kebabs. When it comes to the barbecue, Dr. Mark Horton said our early ancestors were doing exactly the same thing hundreds of thousands of years ago. What, turning the steaks to carbon while wearing an apron with boobs on it? Horton's research is backed up by drawings showing cavemen in thongs building an outdoor fire. Cavemen in thongs telling each other how to build an outdoor fire. Cavemen in thongs smashing unburnt sticks around an outdoor fire. And cavemen in thongs sitting around waiting for the pizza delivery. But the real reason cavemen went outside wasn't to cook meat. They were just out there waiting for cricket and beer to be invented.
David!
I'm bloody angry today, yeah.
Oh, no.
Just reading a story. Apparently Australian doctors think part of the reason why Australian children are overweight is because their mothers think that the fat kids are actually normal size. What's the problem there? Almost everyone's fat anyway. Being fat is normal. It's the normal kids who are the freaks. Look at that thin guy. You're a freak, mate. Eat a pie. Become one of us. What's the problem with being fat anyway as a kid? You never know when you get stuck on a desert island. You need the reserves. I don't have a problem with it. Apparently young men are drinking too much soft drink. Apparently men between the age of 16 and 18 are getting most of their energy from soft drink. No wonder they're always jumping around. They're full of bubbles. No wonder at night they always often spurt. No, I've gone too far. I apologise for that. But anyway, like, whatever if you're overweight. My girlfriend's always feeling sorry for people who are overweight. She watched The Biggest Loser and says, I feel really sorry for those people. I don't feel sorry for them at all. They've had a great life eating fish and chips and watching TV. And now they're bloody famous.
All right, let's get to it. Joining me, Corinne and Dave, the Roast and Stones in the Glasshouse tonight. One of the funniest men to come out of the UK since Prince Philip. You can catch him in Brisbane, Sydney and the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Stephen K. Amos. And one of our favourites, comedian, author, all-round top sort, Gene Kitson. All right, movers and shakers. First up, a growing number of environmentally conscious Aussies are doing their weekly shopping by scavenging in rubbish bins, a practice known as skip dipping. If you're lucky enough to find some unused kangaroo meat, it's skippy dipping. If you're also looking for makeup, it's lippy skippy dipping. If you're doing it in the cold, it's nippy lippy skippy dipping. If you're doing it for the karma, it's hippy nippy lippy skippy dipping. And if you're doing it near a river, it's Mississippi hippy nippy lippy skippy dipping. That was quite hard to say. One dipper in Canberra found a perfectly good pair of jeans that fitted her. All she had to do was carefully remove the derro that had crawled in and made them his home. Corinne, you like a bargain. Ever liberated someone else's junk?
No, and I don't understand all these people who are doing it, saying that they're stopping, they're saving it from all going to landfill. Their houses look like landfill. They've just got crap from one end to the other and cats crawling through it.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not saving the environment, they're scabs.
It's revolting.
Yeah.
Anybody who digs into a bin for food is not the person I want to go to when they're having a dinner party. I mean, are we at war?
Yes, I think we are.
Technically.
It's not nice.
No.
And how much of that rubbish that stinks and is horrible do you have to get through to find the prize at the end? That's what I want to know.
What
Will.
is the prize at the end?
Shit.
No, there could be loaves of bread. They're only a couple of days old. Great for toast.
Yeah, well, hamburgers that are still in their wrap or something? Is that what
I
it
wouldn't
is?
go with the
or something?
hamburgers.
No,
but
hamburgers.
There must be
Loaf of bread.
Yeah, maybe jam, jars of jam. Just scoop the moss off the top and in you go.
Maybe it's a case of natural selection.
Yeah.
If those people who have to dig in to find gone-off food, and if they die, well, hey!
Oh, yeah. And the ones that survive are stronger, fitter. Yeah.
It's true. I bought a can of deodorant, and on the can of deodorant it said, "Warning: do not spray in eyes." Who has sweaty eyes? What idiot's getting up in the morning? Gee, my eyes stink. There should be a warning.
Have you ever tried to trick someone and gone like that with a can and gone psst to them, but then forgotten and actually done it?
Have you got any friends, Dave?
Well, Mum got over it, she's...
Are you keen to recycle around your place, though?
No, but I do throw-out nights. I crawl around the streets. Throw-out nights, I look like I'm just on the street all day, and I pull up and I find things, and sometimes...
Hard rubbish.
Hard rubbish, is that what it is? Hard
So you're
rubbish.
a scavenger?
Yeah, I'm a complete scavenger. I found a rabbit hutch, which was quite good, but then I had to get a rabbit to go in it. And the rabbit was a real hassle, so it kept jumping out.
Was there not a dead one in it already?
Oh, I thought that was a little cuddly thing. No, I've found lots of useful things. I've pot plant stands and deck chairs, towel rail.
Yeah.
I got a table from
Wow.
A
our
table?
whole table. Yeah, and then another neighbour came in for a coffee. She said, "Oh, I see you got my table." And I said, "Oh." I said, "Were you throwing it out?" And she said, "No, we were unpacking it from the back of the car."
Really? Really?
I had to give it back to her.
That's not recycling, that's theft.
You can't tell.
Although I've got to say, the most recent thing that I found that I thought was quite useful was a wallet. So I've been in shops as Mr. Singh.
Our next mover and shaker is America's FX TV network, which has created a new racially based reality show. Using advanced makeup techniques, a white family becomes black and a black family becomes white. And they share a house for 6 weeks. But it's not just makeup. The white father also had to dye his hair black, wear coloured contacts and get an extra 3 inches on his penis. Almost doubled it in size. A similar show is now being planned for Australia, except they're swapping an Anglo family from Cronulla and a Muslim family from Lakemba. Then waiting to see which one gets the crap beaten out of them first. Stephen, you know a bit about racial harmony. Do you like the idea of this show?
I think it's a really, really terrible idea. It's very tacky, it's gross, it doesn't make any sense because, you know, we all live on the same planet and we all have similarities, right?
Yes.
I mean, I can't think of it. I see this all the time. I did a gig where, you know how people come up to you after gigs and tell you jokes and whatever? A bloke actually came up to a young white kid, said, mate, I've got a joke for you. I went, oh, all right then. And he goes, there's this coon, yeah? And I go, you what? And he goes, not you! Oscar Wilde is in the house. Bring it on. I see it all the time. I was in South Africa, and, you know, things have changed now. Oh, yeah. And I'm doing this gig, and I thought it was going to be a nice mixed gig, and it was a 95% white, and they didn't know who I was, no pictures, nothing. My name, big letters all over the venue. Over the tannoy system, they went, all the way from the UK, English comedian Stephen K. Amos. Lovely accent. The whole room, as one, erupted, clapping, cheering. I walk on, they all went, yeah! I thought, do they think I'm here to change a bulb? So I thought, what can I say right now? I need them to love me. So I went, folks, do you know that for every £1 sterling in my pocket, I get 20 of your rand? Your economy, fuck. They didn't like me, folks.
I've experienced, because I'm living in Australia, normally where most people are white, you know. And, but I went to South Africa myself and I experienced, like, being a white person amongst a lot of black people. And that was, you know, I mean, just because I'm an idiot, I was scared, you know. And of course I shouldn't have been. But on the plane on the way over, I'm sitting there and there's black flight attendant, male black flight attendant. And he's walked past and said, do you want coffee? I said, yeah. He said, how do you want it? I said, white. I said, no, sorry! Black's just as good! But, so, I don't know if you grew up in England, didn't you?
I grew up in England. I grew up in 1980s England. Oh, yeah. I'm only 30. Yeah, black don't crack. And there were only 2 black kids in my school, and the other one was my sister. Do you know what I mean? So we had all the stuff happening to all of us all the time, and we're very, very similar because she's my twin. And people always used to say, are you identical? She's a girl. You know.
But she does have that nasty facial hair problem.
And the other thing as well. But I've got more of a round face, and she's got more of a long type face, and more like a horse, right? Yeah, no, and they used to call her Black Beauty, and we didn't get the reference. No, she used to cry. It was awful.
And the only way you could cheer her up was a cube of sugar and an apple.
She loved that. It was extraordinary. And so when I was in South Africa, to go back to your point, when I was with the black South Africans, we don't look the same. We actually don't look the same. There's a look. So they'd look at me like I was an outsider, and the white people there would treat me like I was an outsider. I did a quad bike course with Ross Noble. We all know Ross Noble. And he pushed me off my quad bike, hence this scar. And so I was taken to this private hospital, and the woman on the desk, the first thing he said to me was, hey, you, which hospital do you work in? I went, I'm a guest of your country. And as soon as she heard me speak, she shut herself.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
It happened. You don't know what it's like being me.
We don't know. It couldn't work here.
You will get the same treatment here, but not because you're black, because you're British.
Yeah.
You know, One more thing you must have been upset about. I mean, you're a black man, but your sister got called horse.
I was only 6 years old, give it time. I've got a very bad knee now, though.
Our favourite mover and shaker is the wife of a player from the US basketball team, the Utah Jazz, who's given her husband an allowance of one-night stand a year while he's on the road. So, once a year, there are some things white men can jump. Andrei Kirilenko's wife, Marsha, says, "If I know about it, it's not cheating." The second Friday in May has now been designated Root Andre Day. But Marsha doesn't think he'll go through with it. Apparently he's famous for dribbling, then shooting from the free throw line. Jean, you're our moral compass. Would you cheat if you had permission?
Possibly not if I had permission, but say...
You think it's rubbish? It's rubbish, isn't it? It's a trap, Andre.
Yeah,
it's a trap. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
She's luring you
testing.
in. She
It's
just
a
wants
test.
you to admit it, and then you're going to lose your testicles.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I probably would cheat, but not if I was given permission. But if I had, like, if it was a bad day, if I'd had a big argument with my husband,
if he didn't clean up,
if he didn't clean up,
you'd go out.
if he missed the toilet, if there were skid marks on the sheets, if he put his black t-shirt in with my white jeans,
get him back.
I'd go out and have a one-night stand
With a homeless man.
Yeah, with any man. I mean, you know, I can't be choosy at this particular time.
Right, so you find your dates in skips as well?
No. I mean, surely, because I know my children may watch this show, or someone they know will. I'm actually dead against one-night stands. I think you should get to know someone, form a friendship, trust someone, and then have an ongoing relationship with them.
Get over yourself. Get as many as you can. Then rate them all. Honey, I love you. I'm just joking.
Well, I don't think you can possibly have a one-night stand. It's like opening a packet of peanuts and just having one.
Yeah.
You know, once you've got the taste for
looking at
it, it's there.
Yeah, you've got go the whole pack at once.
Do you know what I reckon? I think that, I don't know whether it's a trap so much. I've got a feeling that Andre might be really crap in bed and she's hoping that he might go out and get a few tips and bring them back. Because he just doesn't have the heart to say, honey, you don't know what you're doing.
But it's a clever girl thing to go, honey, you have one. I don't know, any bloke would go, girl, you know, you go and help yourself. More blokes would go, if you got a mate, bring her with you. You know, but to kind of go, that's because she really wants to do it herself.
Well, that's another
what it
thing.
is.
Yeah,
Trying to be clever. Crafty women.
Would you cheat?
No, but I would say that with my other loved half, I would go out and maybe experience other things together.
Yeah, group thing,
they're the best.
You're not cheating, you're sharing.
There's a lot of it to share. But not in that way. I'm not saying, you know, bucket. I'm saying that we just enjoy, and we're of a mature age where, you know, that's the love thing is the most important thing. It's not about that. We're not going to go, oh, you can have one day, then it's not about that.
So you bring the goat home and you both have a crack.
Oh, we will roast that goat. And milk it dry.
Later in the Glasshouse, Defence Minister Brendan Nelson denies he's overcompensating by driving around in a tank.
It's not about the equipment.
Doctors confirm an 18-year-old American girl is the first victim of the dreaded cheerleader flu. And Kim Beazley complains that whenever he invites the Prime Minister round for dinner, he's suddenly too busy washing his hair.
You can guarantee when John Howard says he has no plans, he has plans.
Tonight's question on the Glasshouse is, what makes you jump? Let's find some answers. What makes you jump?
My love of pogo sticks.
Your love of pogo sticks. Every crowd has a smart ass. Thanks, mate. Good, all right. What makes you jump?
I just hate spiders.
You're 6 foot bloody One, you're fit, and the tiny little spider makes you jump.
Yeah, I just can't take them.
How old are you?
16.
Grow up, mate, grow up. What makes you jump?
Dirty old men.
I wouldn't be in that category yet, would I?
Not quite, almost.
Getting there, yeah.
Yeah, you don't seem too dirty.
You don't know me.
Oh, look, Dave, I'm a lucky man. It's got to be all the obstacles that my wife puts at the bedroom door to try keep me in the bedroom, you know, and I got to jump over them.
What, to get to her?
To get away from her.
What, to get away from her? Wow. All right, what makes you jump?
Leg cramps.
Middle of the night, are you just sort of in bed and all of a sudden, bang, you're up in the air?
That's it.
Yeah, how do you feel about that late at night? You're asleep and all of a sudden you get a scream and your wife is just jumping up.
I'm not in the same bed, so it doesn't matter.
This is a date.
Sort of. It's the show. We come to see you, Dave.
It's not a first date. You two are going to get it on later on.
No.
We completely, categorically... Is it out? Is there any chance?
Yeah,
there is a chance. You're not brother and sister. No, that would be weird, but...
In appalling news for apparitions, a medium has been called in to investigate a pub in Cornwall after reports of a ghost that's pinching women's buttocks. Apparently, the spirit is still willing. Publican Lisa Potter has been spooked several times since taking over the place 6 months ago with her husband Craig. She says it goes very cold, then feels like something is touching your bottom. When this is happening, has anyone checked where Craig and the frozen fish fingers are? Dave, I'd like your help. I want you to be the ghostly gooser, and we're going to interview you.
Sure.
Oh, you are. Oh, that's spooky.
First question, Haunted Hughes. What's with all the pinching?
Oh, I'm dead. Let me have some joy. What's wrong with a bit of pinching?
Did you do it when you were alive?
Yeah.
Really?
That's why I'm dead.
Were you killed by someone you pinched?
No, by their husband. She wanted it, mate.
Are there any black ghosts?
Yeah, we call them spooks.
Has anyone you touched actually enjoyed it? The ghost?
Oh, I believe they all have. I've got a very light touch.
Do you know any celebrity ghosts? Do you hang out, like, you know, with Casper?
Yeah. I do know Casper. Not so friendly in private, I can tell you.
Do you get into any of the scary ghost stuff? You know, like Amityville horror, kind of blood down the walls, kind of bit of get out of the house kind of stuff?
I know I'm a ghost, but you're freaking me out. No, I don't. No, I'm a bit too lazy for that.
Why are you wearing this sort of thing over the top of you?
Yeah, well, we have a malaria problem in pubs
Have you always been at the pub, or do you get around?
Oh, I do get around, yeah.
And how do you do that? Do you just sort of go, woo, and then I'm there, or do you have to...
Walk through walls, yeah.
No, I actually go on planes, yeah. Don't have to buy a ticket, it's handy.
But surely if you can walk through walls, when the plane took off, you would get left there.
I put my seatbelt on, so... They tell you to.
Yeah.
Do any of you or your ghost friends ever go into our bedrooms and, you know, in our private moments and, you know, watch us when we're touching ourselves in a special way?
We do watch.
Oh, what do you think?
We don't get off, we laugh.
Do you have sex yourself?
Yeah, we do have, I have, ghosts do have, we do. Pretty hard for us to get to the, if you know what I mean, though, yeah.
Why's that?
We have a friction problem,
So, going through a wall is not... You don't feel it?
No, I don't, no.
Oh, yeah, then sex would be hard.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard to stop it from being hard.
Can people talk to the dead? Like, well, you know that guy John Edwards who like does crossing over. He says he talks to ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk to the dead?
Yeah, but I wouldn't talk to him.
Why is that?
Because he's American, all right? So we're racist.
I understand that the pub got a medium in. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, they said she was a medium, but a bit on the large side.
Yes, it's time to award the coveted Glasshouse trophy, which this week is called. And the winner of the Crazy John the Baptist Original Sin Clearance comes from the little English town of Dudley Wood, where a church has been forced to get council permission to erect a wooden cross outside because technically it's an advertisement. When the church tried to argue that having a cross outside wasn't advertising, the council said, "Tell that the crosses are us." And the guys down the road at Crazy Herod's Crucifixion Emporium. Everything must go, but it's back again 3 days later. So the trophy goes to the great minds of the Dudley Wood Council. The church has now admitted the cross is actually part of their advertising campaign for the second coming of Jesus, with the slogan, "Where the bloody hell are you?" Well, that's the way it is. That's the way it is for Wednesday, March the 29th. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Stephen. And let's take a look at tomorrow's headlines. The UK Mail has "Anti-Americanism is madness," warns Blair. Then giggles insanely, licks Howard. The Herald Sun says thousands take to Melbourne streets after games. From Sierra Leone, Kenya, New Zealand. The Daily Tally reports Australia to sell uranium to China. What could possibly go wrong? And in the Illawarra Mercury, ALP leader hits new low. Hides in bushes shouting, "Is that Kim Beazley? He's a spunk." Good night.
If you live in the Sydney